So it's a year since the national lockdown was declared. Like any first, it was challenging to navigate. Schools shut down just before the first lockdown. Lessons went online or stopped altogether for a while. It was particularly tough for matriculants who, in spite of all of the changes, had to think of their futures. Kiarin Naidoo was part of the class of 2020, faced with everything, including new methods of studying. He received 8 A's and 100% in accountancy. He's currently in his first year of medical school, and he joins me now. Thank you so much for your time. Looking back at 1 year since lockdown, what memories are going to stay with you forever of this past year?
Good evening, Sally, and thank you for having me on your show. I think that some of the good parts were getting closer to my peers and family, through navigating such a challenging year. And I think that is certainly one of the highlights of the year. And of course, finally getting my results and seeing that that hard work, the dedication had finally materialized into something amazing. I think that was also certainly a highlight of the year. I think during lockdown as well, getting to navigate the online learning platform and getting used to that platform of learning was in itself a highlight for me as well.
How has it changed your view of the world? Because I think it shocked all of us, because suddenly everything we knew, everything we were familiar with had to change. One could not, before the lockdown, imagine a South Africa where there was nobody on the streets, where you couldn't go to a shop and buy a T-shirt for at least 3 weeks, so you couldn't go outside and exercise. How did this last year shake up your worldview?
I think that it's helped me see it in a completely different light. It's because we spend so much time at home as well, in our heads and thinking about what's going on around us. I think that it's certainly evolved into a far more mature outlook on the world around me. And I think that, it's definitely brought forth a completely different view. I will agree with you.
Living in a global pandemic where science and medicine came center stage, did it help confirm your choice to study medicine?
Certainly. I think that the pandemic has really reinforced the importance of medicine and the importance of science for me. And of course, medicine being something that I've wanted to study for a very long time, it's cemented it as my preferred career choice, and it's definitely made it something that I'm really passionate about and want to do for the rest of my life.
All right, so let's look at the rest of your life. A year on from the beginning of that lockdown, you started a university. You're at the School of Medicine, Nelson Mandela School of Medicine at UKZN. What has it been like to start university? Has it been, obviously a lot of the class is practical when you're studying medicine, but I'm sure some of it is online. So we're still in a pandemic. Yes, we're seeing the vaccines coming. Pandemic is still something we're grappling with, and we're seeing protests over fees, so that hasn't changed. That's been a feature of university life over the last few years. What is it like moving into university at a time like this?
I mean, I feel like because a lot of my learning last year was on the online platform, it's really nothing new at the moment because I'm still using the online platform to learn. But I think that the whole idea of university and moving into university is extremely daunting. And of course, with your practicals and stuff like that, that'll also be online and using the Zoom platform as we are now. But nothing much really has changed for now. But I think that in the next couple of weeks, things are going to start to change for me, and things may get more challenging and be a complete shift from what I've been used to at school.
You had extraordinary results, 8 A's, 100% for accountancy. Is that, I mean, clearly you're a hard worker and you're a bit clever, but to what extent is it helped being in an environment, were you in a home environment that really supported you? And I'm thinking of kids who might have not got the marks they were hoping for, and how tough that must have been for some of them.
Yes. It certainly was, because I think being at home, having my family, my parents and my brother supporting me through this whole journey certainly gave me almost like a new wind of energy and motivation to study and to make sure that I'm working as hard as I can to produce the best results I could. And of course, I do understand that a lot of students may not have had that same support. And I do salute them for still navigating 2020 and the pandemic and ultimately passing through.
Well, best of luck at your first year at medical school. Thank you so much. That was Kiarin Naidoo. He's now a medical student at the Nelson Mandela School of Medicine at the University of KZN.